Happy Father's Day to all of you dads out there and all of you moms that are taking the place of dad. Today is your day. Enjoy it. Treat yourself. Do something fun. I specifically wanted this video to come out on Father's Day. I'm a few days away from it, but I wanted this to come out on Father's Day because there's some things that I have to say that deal with the recent loss of my own dad that y'all have met on some of my videos, and along with some other things. Hey y'all, it's Michelle. You are on the American Bum Reacts channel. This is not a video about my reactions, any upcoming reactions, any channel updates, other than I may start a new channel because I don't want to do reactions anymore. I think that time has passed, and I've been wanting to do this video for a while, and I do need to let y'all know of some changes and some things I need to get off my chest. I'll get to this in a minute, but the American Mom Reacts channel that you're watching right now has a lot of reactions. We're still in quarantine. We're still supposed to wear masks in certain places and not in others. It's very confusing. But if you have time, go back and watch my Lost reactions, my Game of Thrones reactions. Those are both from the beginning. Sopranos. I reacted to all of Sopranos. Those are from season 1 on. I do react to The Walking Dead, but I only reacted to seasons 8 and 9. I'm still watching everything, but I haven't reacted to those. A lot of other shows may interest you that I've reacted to. The Leftovers, True Detective, Westworld. That went over my head, so I just did one season of that. But just like flip through my playlist and, give me some love and show me some support by still watching some of this channel. But I think I'm going to start a new channel that will just be more of talking like this and vlogging possibly. I may just turn my phone on in my car and just start talking. I might start venting. I may be crying. I may be on my way to a therapy session. I may be coming home from a therapy session. I may have just had an issue with a friend or someone in my family. We'll get to all that in a minute. As y'all know, I've already done a pretty extensive video about my anxiety. And it's literally been a little over a year since I've done any reactions. And as much as I miss doing them, because I still watch other people's reactions, and I just have like this nostalgic feeling of, oh God, I remember looking forward to an episode and recording several at a time, and then the editing part you hate. But it was 2 years of good memories for me, and I'm still into the YouTube world. I'm still in contact. I'm still in the comment section. I'm still modding. I just think that time has passed me now, because once your passion kind of isn't into something anymore, you just need to move on. As I said earlier, happy Father's Day, and I'm bringing this video to you because this is going to be the first Father's Day in 4 years that I haven't been able to spend with my father, American Papi, that y'all have seen on these other videos in the last 4 years. And they've been very special to me. I lost him so suddenly, y'all. He went in for gallbladder surgery, and he had an infection, and they sent him home for the infection to drain, and then he had to go back to the VA hospital, and once they put him back in, the infection wasn't gone, and then he was in ICU, and then I got the phone call And I said, do I need to come down there? And the doctor and my relatives said, no, we'll call you. He's going to be here for a few more days, and then we'll, you can fly down or whatever. And then, but it's weird because on February 22nd, I was heading to watch my oldest daughter's basketball team play in a tournament. They were wrapping up their season. This is, of course, before COVID has hit anywhere. Like, nobody knew about it yet. And I was calling the VA hospital, and I was checking on my dad's status because I was kind of hearing some things from my relatives and stuff, but I wasn't putting everything together. And I thought, let me just call myself. I'll say I'm his daughter. Give me the lowdown. And when I called, they transferred me, and I thought they were transferring me to a doctor. But my dad's voice picked up, and he said, Shelly, honey, it's your dad. Because I thought, this doctor sounds like, just like my dad, like the accent and everything. And I said, well, what are you doing picking up the phone? Like, he's in ICU. And I thought, okay. And so we kind of had a laugh because I was, and sarcasm runs in our family, but I was like, I said, my gosh, you're in there again? Like, rent a room, and he goes, right? And I said, they should know, like, to see you 2 to 3 times a month, And we laughed about that. That's when I said, I heard from the doctors, I heard from my TT, from your sister, that I don't need to come right now, but I will come because you're in ICU. And he said, well, I don't want you to come visit me if I'm in the hospital. Come next week. And I said, okay. And this is the thing, y'all. My dad's accent is very thick, so I don't talk to him on the phone often. I've probably talked with him and my relatives in Miami maybe 4 times on the phone because it's hard to understand them, so we text a lot. And I think God just knew I needed to hear his voice. Anyway, we both said, I love you. And I said, okay, I'll check in next week. And this was around 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. I spent the whole day at a tournament. And it was only about 7-8 hours later, I got the call from the doctor. And he said, we did everything we could. He had a cardiac arrest. And he's gone. My dad had COPD. He had a defibrillator in his chest, not a pacemaker, but his heart was always out of rhythm, and he always got that checked, and it was never a big deal. So this gallbladder surgery just came out of nowhere, and so I lost my dad February 22nd. I flew out the 23rd. We made funeral arrangements. I stayed with my relatives. We had good talks. We had laughs, and just trying to remember good times that we'd had with him. And then, of course, he wanted to be cremated, so nothing was ready. It was going to take a week, 7 to 10 days. So I flew back home. I flew back out. Actually, I had my birthday in between. My birthday's in early March. And I flew back out, I think March 8th. Like not long after my birthday. Or maybe the 10th. Anyway, everything was just boom, 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 boom. And so we celebrated my birthday, which I haven't done without him for 4 years since finding him. And I'll get to that in a minute. I flew back down. My aunts flew me back down. It was expensive to fly last minute the first time, and I just thought, oh, I'm not going to be able to make his memorial service, but they surprised me and said, here's your ticket, you're coming. And that was very special. And we had a service March 10th or 12th, and I stayed a few days, and we had him cremated, and we had this done in a biodegradable. They make the biodegradable urns now. And he loved the ocean. So my dad's in the ocean. And I know that's where he would want to be. We had a full military service. They did not shoot the guns because he did not retire from the military. He did his 4 years and then he left. But they did play taps. I did get the folded flag. It was a very memorable moment. A week later, one of my Shih Tzus, not the one that's in the videos, Precious, the oldest one, the bigger one, started getting sick. She started peeing all over the house. She had like no control of her bowels. She was throwing up blood. She wasn't eating. So April 7th, we had to put her down. I just wanted to shut down and just go in a hole, because at this point, when I returned back from Miami, COVID was happening and quarantine was happening and people weren't sure what was going on, and everything was like, we were all in panic mode, and I'm still not very pleased with the way y'all acted about toilet paper. I mean, good God. Anyway, yeah, it was just, you know, pandemic. Everything was crazy. And my aunt that lives here. I have an aunt that's my mom's sister. She lives here. She has kidney issues. She's older. She's almost 80. My mom has asthma, respiratory problems. My brother has, you know, respiratory issues, and he lives with my mom, and I couldn't, like, go see any of my immediate family. I had my husband here, but I couldn't see my mom. I couldn't hug my mom. I couldn't hug my aunt. I couldn't. My oldest daughter didn't come around for a while because she had not been in our circle. My youngest daughter lives here with us, so she was here, but it's just really hard. Like, you know, you want your family nearby when just shit hits the fan and you don't know what else to do. And so that's the headspace I was at. And y'all know I suffer from clinical depression, and I didn't know what to do. I actually ended up calling my therapist's office, but they weren't seeing people. I could have talked to someone over the phone, but I didn't want to have to pay for a session to talk over the phone. I wanted to talk to somebody and hold somebody and have them hold me and say, you know, this is a lot. It's okay. You'll get through it, and it's a lot. But you're mad and it's unfair, but yet I had 10 years with my dog, and pets are the best. But you can tell pets anything, and they don't judge you. They don't try and fix you or give you advice and say, get over it, or, you know, they just lick your face. And just, I miss my oldest dog, Precious, because she's more loving than the other one is that we still have, and I love her, but she's not, she's from a puppy mill, and she's a rescue, so she's more distant, and she likes to be loved, but only when she wants to be. And so I miss having Precious here when I'm home alone, and my husband still goes to work, and I don't have someone to just listen to me, just like either complain or cry or whatever. And I'm thankful for the 4 years that I had with my dad when we found each other. But I sometimes I wonder, like, would it hurt as much if I hadn't found him and not been able to make some of these memories because now I miss them? You know, like, is it better to have loved and lost than not to have loved at all? It's the same kind of thing, and I still debate with that because we were just starting to get to know each other. Let me get into that.
My mom remarried when I was 7. And my stepdad adopted me. He changed my last name. He took me from my real father. I didn't realize this at the time. I was only 7. I just knew my mom was remarrying someone. About a year or 2 after they were married, we moved. And I didn't know that my stepdad did not tell my dad, that y'all have seen, that we moved. So here he is, for a year or 2 after they had gotten divorced. I'd been seeing my dad, visitation rights and all that. My dad worked for the airline, so I was able to fly to go visit him. When my mom remarried, we moved to Jacksonville from Miami, and I would fly from Jacksonville to Miami, Miami back to Jacksonville. I flew by myself. Airlines were very different back then. And he would pick me up and we'd go do stuff, and then he'd return me, or we'd go to Disney or the beach. I had nothing but great memories. But my stepdad, who I didn't call stepdad, I'm trying to make this more clear to y'all, because if I just say dad, you're going to think of my dad that just passed. I always called my stepdad Daddy. I always called him Daddy. He wanted me to. And from the age of 7 on, I did. Anyway, we moved. And I had no idea that my dad was looking for me. He had no idea where we moved to. He had no idea we moved to North Carolina. How would he know? He asked my mom's friends, other relatives, and nobody would tell him. So I feel really cheated out of that. I just thought he was no longer in my life. I thought my mom remarried, people move on. My stepdad was very controlling. Really a mean person, to be honest. Still is. Abusive, verbally, emotionally, to me and my mom. And I stuck to her like glue, because I didn't want to be around him by myself. Anyway, you grow up and this person's out of your life. So from the age of 7 on, I didn't see my dad. The ones that y'all have seen with us in the car and stuff talking. People have said, oh my gosh, you're just like your dad, y'all's humor. You don't realize, like, in the 4 years that we've been reconnected, I only got to visit him like 10 times, like 2 times a year. Like 8 to 10 times in visits we had. That's it. But it's like we were of one personality and heart, and we couldn't pick up where we left off because I had pigtails and I was missing my 2 front teeth. And here we are reconnecting after 36 years, and I'm driving him around, and we're going out to dinner, and I'm ordering a glass of wine, and it's just blowing his mind. He's just like, oh my gosh, my daughter's drinking and driving, and not drinking and driving. You know what I mean? Because he was always driving me around and buying me meals. And can you imagine, like, being taken away from one of your parents for 36 years? And I had to hire a private investigator and say, I'm finding him. And it took me 3.5 years, but we found him. And he was alive, and I got these 4 years with him. But my stepdad, he took that from me. And he knows he did. And as you become an adult, you start to realize all these things that he knew what he was doing. My mom knew that he was keeping him away from me. She wasn't being vindictive about it. She was following this narcissistic person that she stayed married to. That doesn't give her a pass. She and I have been to therapy. I haven't let her off the hook with that. But my stepdad has never copped up to it as like he did anything wrong. It was like, you're my daughter. And that was that. I didn't realize I was receiving from my real dad's side of the family. I was receiving birthday cards. I was receiving Christmas cards. I was receiving presents. And they were all returned. He would get to the mailbox. And his stepdad would get to the mailbox and he would return letters and return to sender and I never knew. And my mom didn't know that part. So you don't realize that someone's missing you, or this Father's Day is really going to be hard. I'm sorry. Okay. Gosh, I cried in the last video. Sorry. It's a shame when Father's Day comes around and you don't have a father to celebrate with. And some of you are thinking, well, you may have had some hard times with your stepfather and the way that he raised you and whatever, but he's still your dad. I mean, because he did raise me. He did raise me. I think there's a father is someone that impregnates your mother. If they don't stay in your life, they're not your dad. The person that raises you is your dad. Good or bad, that's your dad. And he had his good moments. I mean, he would be funny, because narcissistic people are. They're charming. He served on the church board. He spoke at revivals. He helped with the youth group. There was a Sunday father. But Monday through Saturday wasn't fun. Wasn't good. 12 years ago, it'll be 13 years in November, I went with my dad to one of these revivals as an adult, just 12, 13 years ago. And I love to sing. And he asked me, I have to go speak at one of these revivals. Will you come and do the singing? And I love to sing. And I said, yeah. And we had a great weekend. It was a Friday, Saturday, and we came home Sunday. On the way home from the revival, it was a couple hours away, my neck started bothering me and it was really stiff. And we were in one of those cars where the seat in the front's like a bench. I forget what kind of a truck or SUV we were in, and he told me he'd rub my shoulder. It was over here. And I leaned over and he moved my shirt out of the way, my bra strap out of the way, and he went down my shirt and he took advantage of me. And I stopped him. And I thought I was in a dream, like the world just went weird. And in slow motion, he's never copped up to it. But my mom knows from the way he's acted that what I said was true. It affected my first marriage. Because he believed it, but he never stood up for me. And I can't stay with somebody that's not going to stand up for me and say, hey, you son of a bitch, don't you ever touch my wife. How dare you? I didn't want anybody to kill him and go to prison over it. My mom did say she wanted to kill him. There's a lot of family members that stand by me. And then there's a couple that would rather not go there and believe it, even though they know it's true. They believed me in the beginning. They've now said, you know, I still want a relationship with this person, so let's just leave it. Let's not talk about it, and let's... So for me to have a relationship with them, I have to act like you didn't just betray me. You just don't believe me now. You just interact with this person. You let your kids around this person. It's been so hard, y'all. What I'm trying to say is, like, my dad that I finally found passed away, and the one that raised me and then just betrayed me. He betrayed me. He rejected me. He won't acknowledge me as his daughter. He only has one daughter and one son now. It's hurtful. I don't have, I hate Father's Day. I just hate it. Because I have a father. I have a dad on earth. They're not both dead. They're not both gone. I have one. But he hasn't received a card. I don't receive birthday cards or Christmas cards. I don't receive anything. I don't receive acknowledgement. So it's like I don't have a dad at all. And this is the first year, again, in 4 years that I don't get to pick out a card. I don't get to send my dad a Dairy Queen gift card. He loves Dairy Queen. And I will be going to Dairy Queen on Father's Day and having a banana split in his honor. But I don't get to do that, and I get so angry, and I'm still going to therapy. Don't worry. But I wanted to make this video because I wanted that story out. And the reason why I couldn't talk about the sexual abuse that my stepdad did to me earlier is because y'all know that my dad that just passed away, like, he was a big fan of my YouTube channel, and he liked being on there, and he would check the videos. And if he ever found out, oh my gosh, if he found out, I know that he would do something and then he'd be in jail. And I didn't want that. And I thought he could never find out. I kind of feel a little bit lighter because I feel like y'all have known me for over 2 years now, and I feel like I can share this with you and not be judged for it. And I forgive. This is another thing. Like, I forgive my stepdad. I forgive him for everything. I forgive him for my childhood. I forgive him for punishing me for no reason. I forgive him for hitting me with the belt. I forgive him. I forgive him for sexually assaulting me. But you can't make somebody love you or acknowledge you or want to be in your life if they don't want to be. My dad passed away February 22nd. April 23rd was his birthday. That was hard. That was the first, maybe the second big hump, because he missed my birthday. And then his birthday went past. And now Father's Day. And then I know Thanksgiving and Christmas is going to come up. And then, you know, we had made plans to go back to Disney World because we had not done that since I was little. And I have good days and I have bad days. And there are people that I talk to that are my YouTube friends, and they know a lot of this story, and I appreciate their support, and they check on me, and I sometimes I say, you know what, let's talk in a few days, and sometimes I just say, I can't talk about it because you know, if you feel like, I feel like once I open up and I start talking about it, that I'm just going to start crying, and then I won't stop. And I don't want to get to that point. It's hard to go deep. That's what's so hard about therapy too. You know, they make you go deep and they go, well, let's talk about your childhood, and you go, oh, do we have to? But having said all that, I'm gonna get through this Father's Day. You're not alone. Some of you have maybe lost your fathers, and I'm sorry, you know, through illness or an accident, or maybe you've just never known them from birth. Maybe they've been kept from you, or they've decided to stay away. We all make mistakes, and we all are going to let people down. And I know that. But I still have this little bit of hope that, you know, my stepdad will step forward and say, I'm sorry. I did do it. I know things won't be the same between us, but I do love you. I do want to see you. I do want to meet your new husband. I do want to be a part of your life, and it may take baby steps. Anything. I just have this little bit of hope that it could happen. But anyway, I finally got to say all this without my dad in heaven. I love you. Having to hear it. I never wanted him to hear any of this. And it goes much deeper. There's a lot of like specific things in my childhood. There's a lot of, I'm not going into all that. But through all that, there's still forgiveness. I just want a relationship, you know, with a man in my life that's not going to treat me like shit. My husband now, Brad, he's wonderful. He's the only man in my life that hasn't done that. And it's hard to get used to. And sometimes I push him away because I don't think I deserve it. But he's been great. Now, I'm going to get back to the channel thing. I look like crap, probably. I will be in touch with y'all as soon as I can. I'm not going to promise anything. I say too many times, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And then there could be bad days and I just don't. It doesn't happen. And then I have to go, oh, sorry. I do want to start another channel and do live streams, vlogs, things, you know, like I talked about earlier. And hopefully y'all would be interested in stuff like that. But please, like, I do need to make just a little bit of money from this channel, and go back and watch Game of Thrones. Go back and watch at least seasons 8 and 9 of The Walking Dead until we catch up with the finale of season 10, whenever that is. Lost was probably the funnest thing that I reacted to, that I enjoyed the most. I don't know, but thank y'all so much for your support. I love y'all. Thank you for listening. And I really want y'all to know where I'm coming from, know where I've been. I have good days, I have bad days, but I'll be back. And the next video I make, I will let y'all know what I'm going to be doing as far as the channel and what it's going to be called. And hopefully y'all will come to that side. It won't be reactions, so I don't expect big numbers. I don't care how many subscribers I have. I just want to start a new chapter in my life. I feel like this is a good time to do that. I wish you all safety, health with this COVID-19. Please share this video. Please share it with someone that maybe missing their father this Father's Day, maybe has gone through something in a sexual way with a relative and they don't quite know what to make of it, definitely find a therapist. Definitely. You've got to vent. You've got to get it out. And your own family, they like to give you a lot of advice, but they haven't been through it. And they're just, kind of being one-sided sometimes. So talk to someone that knows what they're talking about. I love y'all. Happy Father's Day. Until the next video and the next time.